Hey there, English learners! Welcome back to Speak English Daily. I'm Emma.
And I'm Mark. How's everyone doing today?
Mark, I've been thinking about something that happened to me yesterday. I was at the coffee shop and I overheard a conversation between two language learners. One said to the other, "I understand everything, but when I try to speak, my brain just freezes."
Oh, wow, that hits close to home. As native speakers, we sometimes forget how complex this process really is. Emma, can you imagine having to translate every single thought before speaking?
Honestly, Mark, it's mind-blowing when I think about it. We just think and speak simultaneously. It's completely automatic for us. But for our listeners, their brains are working overtime like a computer, running too many programs at once.
Exactly. And you know, what I've observed from working with English learners for years, they're stuck in what I call translation prison.
Translation prison? That's such a vivid way to put it. It's like their thoughts are trapped, bouncing back and forth between languages instead of flowing freely like ours do naturally.
Today, we're going to give you the keys to break out of that prison. As native speakers who've helped hundreds of students, we're sharing 6 powerful strategies that will help you think like we do.
These are just tips. They're mind-shifting techniques based on how we native speakers actually process language. We're going to teach you to think the way we were born thinking.
But first, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're native speakers dedicated to helping you speak English naturally and confidently.
All right, Mark, are you ready to share some native speaker secrets today?
Let's unlock their English brains. Strategy number 1 is what I call creating your immersion bubble. And here's the thing. You don't need to move to America to live like an American.
This is so important. As native speakers, we're surrounded by English 24/7 without even thinking about it. Every sign, every conversation, every thought, it's all English all the time.
Exactly. So here's how you recreate that native experience. For just 1 hour, each day, I call it your English hour. You transform your environment to mimic ours.
When I was studying abroad and helping my international roommates, this is exactly what we did. Change your phone to English. Set English music as background. Even talk to your pets in English.
And here's the key difference from traditional methods. Don't just consume English content passively. As native speakers, we're constantly interacting with our language environment.
What do you mean by that, Mark?
Great question. We don't just hear English, we respond to it, predict it, question it. So when you're watching English videos, pause and predict what'll happen next, just like we do instinctively.
Yes. When we hear a song, we automatically sing along or anticipate the next line. When we read something, we're already forming opinions and reactions. This active engagement is what keeps our brains in English mode constantly.
This forces your brain to stay in English mode instead of switching back and forth. It's like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
And after just 1 week of daily English hours, you'll start experiencing what we call English momentum. Your brain begins defaulting to English for certain thoughts, just like ours does naturally. Strategy number 2 taps into something we native speakers do instinctively, the emotion connection method.
This is fascinating. From a neurological perspective, Emma, we never had to consciously learn this. But how do our emotions and English connect naturally?
Great question. As native speakers, our emotions and English words form together from childhood. When I feel frustrated, I'm so frustrated. Just appears in my mind instantly. No translation needed.
Right. So for our learners, we need to recreate that same emotional linguistic connection that we developed naturally as kids.
Here's how it works. Instead of learning that frustrated means annoyed in your language, wait until you actually feel frustrated. Maybe you're stuck in traffic. In that exact moment, think, I am so frustrated in English.
You're creating what we call an emotional anchor, the same type of connection we native speakers have had since we were toddlers, throwing tantrums.
Exactly. And it works for positive emotions too. When I see a gorgeous sunset, I don't think about it analytically. I just feel the beauty and automatically think, wow, what a beautiful sunset.
This is so much more powerful than memorization because you're building an emotional database in English, just like we have. Our language is tied to our feelings, not to translations.
Here's a pro tip from our teaching experience. Keep an emotion diary for 1 week. Every time you feel something strongly, write down that emotion in English. Happy, exhausted, excited, overwhelmed.
Over time, your brain will start automatically reaching for English words when you experience these emotions, exactly like ours do. It becomes your natural response.
And here's what I've noticed from working with students. Emotions are universal. A smile means the same thing everywhere. So you don't need translation. You just need to attach the English label to what you're already feeling naturally.
Strategy 3 might sound unusual at first, but trust me on this. It's the mirror technique revolution, and it mimics how we native speakers actually process thoughts.
Oh, this sounds intriguing. I'm guessing it's more than just practicing pronunciation in a mirror.
You're right. Here's what I learned from working with international students. This isn't just talking to yourself. This is strategic self-conversation that replicates how we, native speakers, naturally think.
How is this different from regular speaking practice, Mark?
Excellent question. Most people practice English by repeating phrases or reading aloud. But the mirror technique revolution involves 3 key elements that match our native thinking: emotion, spontaneity, and problem solving.
Break that down for us.
Sure, first, emotion. You're not just speaking, you're having a real conversation about things that genuinely matter to you, just like we do in our heads all day long.
So it's authentic communication, not artificial practice?
Exactly. Second, spontaneity. No scripts, no preparation. You speak whatever comes naturally to mind, which trains your brain to think in English under pressure, the way we do constantly.
And third?
Problem solving. You use these mirror sessions to actually work through real issues in your life. Should I take that job offer? What should I cook for dinner? This is exactly how native speakers think.
This is brilliant. As native speakers, we're constantly having internal conversations, working through problems, processing our day, all in English, obviously. For learners, this natural process gets interrupted by translation.
Right. Start with just 3 minutes every morning. Look in the mirror and process one thing that's on your mind. Don't worry about grammar. Focus on communication just like we do.
The mirror helps because you can see your facial expressions and body language, making it feel like the real conversations we have with ourselves every day.
After 2 weeks, you'll notice your internal monologue starting to shift to English naturally, just like ours has always been.
Strategy 4 teaches you to think like we native speakers do naturally. Context clue mastery.
I love this approach. Emma, this is something we do instinctively, right? When we encounter unfamiliar words?
Absolutely. Here's the mindset shift. Instead of reaching for a dictionary or translator every time you encounter a new word, you learn to think like we do. We use context clues constantly.
Can you give us a real example of how we native speakers handle unknown words?
Perfect example. Let's say I'm reading a scientific article and I see the word photosynthesis for the first time. I don't stop reading to look it up. I gather clues from the surrounding text about plants, sunlight, energy.
Exactly. And here's something people don't realize. Even we native speakers don't know every word. I encounter unfamiliar terms in legal documents or medical journals all the time. But I keep reading and figure it out from context.
That's such an important point. We're comfortable with some uncertainty. We don't stop and look up every unknown word. We trust our brains to fill in the gaps and keep the conversation or reading flowing.
So when you're learning, use the 90% rule that we naturally follow. If you understand about 90% of what you're reading or hearing, don't stop for the remaining 10%. Let context fill in the gaps just like we do.
This builds the same confidence we have as native speakers. We know we can navigate English, even when we don't know every single word, and you can develop that same trust in yourself.
Plus, this trains your brain to be comfortable with ambiguity, which is essential for fluent communication. We native speakers live with linguistic uncertainty all the time. Strategy 5 uses a psychology principle that explains how we native speakers maintain our English all day long. It's called the habit stacking method.
This is fascinating. Mark, we never think about it, but our English thinking is basically one big habit stack, isn't it?
Exactly. As native speakers, we don't consciously decide to think in English. It's automatically triggered by everything we do. Wake up, think in English. Make coffee, think in English. It's all connected.
So we're going to help our learners build that same automatic system.
Precisely. You identify things you already do automatically every day. Brushing teeth, making coffee, walking to work. And you stack English thinking on top of these existing habits.
So instead of trying to remember to practice English, it just becomes part of what they already do naturally.
Bingo! For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will describe what I see outside my window in English for 30 seconds. Just like how we automatically start planning our day in English when we have our morning coffee.
Or while I brush my teeth, I will think about 3 things I'm grateful for in English. This mimics how we naturally reflect during routine activities.
Yes, and here's why this works so well. From our perspective as native speakers, our existing habits are already automatic, so they act as natural triggers for English thinking, just like they do for us.
This removes the biggest barrier to practice, remembering to do it. As native speakers, we never have to remind ourselves to think in English. It just happens.
Exactly. Start small. Pick just one existing habit and stack one simple English activity onto it. After about 3 weeks, thinking in English during these moments becomes as automatic as our native thinking patterns.
And then you can add more habit stacks. It's like building a network of English thinking throughout your entire day, just like we have naturally. Our final strategy is my personal favorite, the inner narrator technique. This replicates the constant internal dialogue that we native speakers have running in our heads 24/7.
This sounds like the key to everything. What exactly is this inner narrator that we have?
Think about how our minds work, Mark. Right now, as we're recording this, I have a running commentary in my head. I hope that explanation was clear. Mark's making a good point. I should mention that example.
Oh, wow. You're right. We have this constant stream of thoughts, observations, and reactions, all in English, obviously, but learners' internal dialogue is probably in their native language.
Exactly. So you become the narrator of your own life, but in English. Here's the key difference from other techniques. You're narrating your thoughts, feelings, and decisions like we do naturally.
Can you give us an example of how this sounds compared to our natural inner voice?
Sure. Instead of just thinking coffee, you might narrate like we do. I'm reaching for my favorite blue mug. The coffee smells incredible this morning. I wonder if I should add honey today instead of sugar. Actually, let me try it black first.
That's exactly how we think. We're using complex grammar naturally, present continuous, conditionals, questions, because that's how our minds actually work.
Right. This is exactly how native speakers process life. We're constantly having internal conversations, making observations, questioning things, all in English without any effort.
And the beautiful part is, you're practicing real-time English processing because life doesn't wait for you to translate, just like it doesn't wait for us.
Start with just 10 minutes a day. Pick a routine activity like cooking dinner or getting dressed and narrate it like you're the host of your own reality show, just like how we naturally commentate on our own lives.
I love that. Welcome to Mark Makes Breakfast. Today, we're attempting scrambled eggs without burning them again. That humor and personality is exactly what we native speakers do naturally.
Perfect. We don't just describe actions, we add commentary, humor, and personality to our internal thoughts. After a few weeks, this inner narrator starts running automatically in the background of your mind, just like ours does.
And here's what's exciting. When this inner narrator starts running automatically, you're essentially thinking like a native speaker. That's when you know you've truly broken free from translation mode. Wow, Emma. These 6 strategies really break down how we native speakers naturally process English. Let's do a quick recap for our listeners.
Absolutely. Strategy 1: create your immersion bubble. 1 English hour daily with the same active engagement we have naturally.
Strategy 2: the emotion connection method. Build the same emotional linguistic connections that we developed as children.
Strategy 3: the mirror technique revolution. Replicate our natural internal problem solving conversations.
Strategy 4: context clue mastery. Learn to handle unknown words with the same confidence we have.
Strategy 5: the habit stacking method. Build automatic English thinking triggers like our natural language habits.
And strategy 6: the inner narrator technique. Develop the constant English commentary that runs in our native minds.
Now, here's the crucial part. Everyone, don't try to implement all 6 strategies at once. Even we native speakers built these thinking patterns gradually over years of childhood development.
Absolutely. And pick just one strategy that resonates with you. Give it 2 weeks of consistent practice, just like how we formed our natural habits. Then, and only then, add a second strategy.
Remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's progress toward natural thinking. Every moment you think in English instead of translating is a step closer to thinking like we do.
As native speakers who've worked with thousands of learners, we want to celebrate your progress. Drop a comment below and tell us which strategy you're going to try first.
Yes! And use the hashtag #SpeakEnglishDaily so we can find your posts on social media. We love seeing students develop the same natural thinking patterns we have.
If this episode helped you understand how native minds work, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who's also working toward English fluency.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest insights into native speaker thinking.
We'll be back next week with more strategies straight from the native speaker playbook. Until then, keep practicing, keep growing, and remember, speak English daily.
Daily.